Hello everyone, this is the Milton Festival bike race here. So we're coming into the first climb. So after the start, it's a pretty long straightaway, kind of just rolling, and then we take a right-hand turn, a little bit of a flat portion which we were just on, and then we're into the climb. So definitely would have liked to be positioned a little bit further up here, just to provide a little bit more slipping room. So I'm not as much of a climber. But we can definitely get over these hills here. A little bit worried, so there's kind of a group forming up ahead, but I don't want to use all of my energy on this climb, and so I tried to do it as conservatively as I could, going up, trying not to waste any extra energy here. But I do know on the back end of this climb, it does go downhill a little bit, and then that should allow us to kind of let ourselves catch back on as long as we stay on the power, which we do here. Now I do have my teammate here on my wheel, so I know we got to keep things smooth so that we can bridge up to the bridge up to that group there. And if we take a few people together, that's okay. Good, making some shifts. So downhill, things are still rather strung out here. However, I know I'll be able to make up some time going through this corner. It's definitely an interesting race. There are varying skill levels here. And so I need to keep that in mind kind of throughout the race with technical things, cornering. All right, so we'll bridge up, and so will my teammate here. It'll take him a little bit longer than I, but we do all bridge up here. Okay, so we bridge up. There we go. Now we're one big group. And then Ship and Curry, they did really well this ride with always having someone up the road, attack, counterattack. And so you will see here in just a few moments, the guy ends up going up the road. We do a little bit of chasing, but there he is. That's our solo rider up the road. So we do end up trying to chase it back a little bit, but we end up giving him a pretty good leash to where he was actually out of sight for a good portion of this course. All right, so really nothing too consequential. A lot of good work by Ship and Curry. They were the dominant team, and they have a number of guys in this front group. So they did a really good job at kind of, keeping their advantage and not letting anyone else go up the road here. Which I think, in hindsight, letting one or two guys up the road with their teammate would have been a good idea, but we'll get to that in a little bit. All right. So lots of nice rolling bits here. Excuse me. And then we start off on the go around this, but now we're on the climb. So I know at this point in time, I don't have my rear cam, but I know my teammates here relatively close to me. So we end up kind of just chatting, checking in, seeing where we're at. I would say we're a little bit under halfway here, and the climb's not terribly steep, so not a lot's going on here, thankfully. Just checking in, seeing, I know we're both a bit tired, and he had to do a little bit more for that bridge attempt. And so Eric said, hey, we'll do what we can do. We'll have to kind of check in later and see where we're at. But we weren't really looking to do a whole lot of chasing at this point in time. All right, so speeding things up, we do complete the climb. We continue here. It's broken up into two little sections, a little flat section in between, and then it continues to rise up. And then a fast section, and then we're just on to some nice rolling terrain here. Not a lot's happening. And then we are here. We can see here we are getting a pretty good speed differential from the back to the front. So I decided to do a little probing attack, making sure that we're keeping the speed up. There is there's definitely some people who want to chase, and obviously Ship and Curry doesn't really want to chase down their own teammates, but they are following whatever move. So I'm doing what I can to kind of keep the pace up to make sure that we're trying to catch that lead rider. And so I end up getting caught, and then we just keep on rolling. There we go. All right. So really interesting final to this road race because it plays out very similar to a crit. So I'm going to take us right there. There was a little bit of a sketchy part. And I know where we're starting to come into the finish because we go over the highway. You can see my teammates right off to the left of me, Eric there, and we are having a little bit of a chat, saying, hey, what's the plan? How are you feeling? Do you have anything for a lead out? Do you want to try to go early? And he said he was a little bit fried from, especially from that bridge effort. It never really was quiet enough to be able to fully recover. So we're going past the school right now, and we'll just play it in through the finish. So a little bit sketchy. We did have a car in the oncoming lane after we made this turn, which was made things a little bit tight, but it was good because everything was nice and lined out. So that one rider already made that turn. Everyone made it through that smoothly. And there's a little kicker. As you can see, it rises up before. You can see that one rider just off in the distance. That's the brake. So we're catching that rider at pretty much the perfect time, right? There's not a whole lot of craziness. We are spiking up power, and I'm just trying to keep everything together since I know, hey, this is going to be coming down to a sprint unless we let something get off. All right, so the brake is just being caught there. And now this, as we go down, this descent is pretty steep. So I know I'll be able to make up some position. Some people will be hot on the brakes. So we let that play out. I just let things roll. We get up to about 45. And then it's just about managing speed, making sure, and again, I'm making all those passes without any power. So managing the speed, making sure we don't cook this turn. And we make it through edge to edge. All right, so we're looking good here. Looking off over my left shoulder all the time. And then we see a move coming up here on the left. I anticipate it, bring up the power. And I can't let anything get up the road at this point in time. Now, typically I'd want to get glued right onto a wheel, but I know that we have a series of turns and that having a little bit of a gap should be just fine. If someone else wants to go into that gap, I'd be fine with that because it is a decent way for the finish. All right, now we're coming into that second to last turn here. So that second to last straightaway, you have the the firehouse on the left. So I'm kind of using that as a gauge because being that there's different levels of riders, I know that I want to be through that turn first so that I know no one's going to be taking me out and I'm set up well for that finish. So I know I need to kick up the power about here to be able to get around both riders. And they're both thinking of the finish where I'm making the finish happen here. Storm great there. And then we just kick to the finish. At this point in time, I got a sizable gap right through that turn, so I just need to keep on the power to keep the speed up to make sure that they aren't able to go that much faster around me. And that's it. That's the race there. All right, so we'll play through the finish here again. So this is coming in 2 turns, 2 straights to go. So this is the third straight coming in with 2 turns. Yeah. So that was my plan going all through, hoping that everything was pretty much together. Maybe a small group, um, making sure that everything was nice and safe. And the big thing was the speed differential. So I'm coming at them at good speed here. They're probably going, maybe low 30s, but I'm coming in at 35. Could have been a little bit smoother there, but that was enough to take the win. So if you like these videos, the race critiques here, the breakdowns, make sure to give a like, make sure to subscribe, and even if you just kind of like checking out the courses ahead of time, this can be a great resource. So hopefully we'll check out the next one here. Thank you.